Hey, dive into a story that'll grip your heart and spark your soul. Imagine a single moment, a fleeting glance at a boy in the shadows, that unravels a life built on success but hollowed by regret. Join us on this journey of rediscovery, where love, courage, and family rise from the ashes of the past. Stick around to the end, and don't forget to subscribe for more tales that inspire and ignite. The sun scorched Brooklyn's Fulton Market, where vendors shouted and carts rattled. Amid the chaos, a boy named Noah sifted through a dumpster, his small hands sorting scraps with a quiet focus. His clothes were patched, his shoes barely held together, and a tattered backpack slumped beside him. To the world, he was invisible, just another kid scraping by. But to Julian Reed, a real estate magnate stepping out of a sleek black SUV, Noah was a lightning bolt. Julian, in a crisp suit with a life of boardrooms and penthouses, felt an inexplicable tug as he spotted the boy. His polished world paused, and something deep stirred. A memory, a regret, a pull he couldn't name. Julian hesitated, his driver glancing at him curiously. "Sir, we're late for the meeting." But Julian's eyes were locked on Noah, who carefully inspected a half-eaten apple before tucking it into his bag. "Wait here," Julian said, striding toward the boy. The market's noise faded as he knelt, softening his voice. "Hey, kid, what's your name?" Noah flinched, eyes darting to the ground, wary of strangers. Julian pulled a wrapped sandwich from his car. "Not here to hurt you. Eat." Noah's fingers trembled as he took it, tearing into the bread like it was his first meal in days. His eyes, wide and guarded, met Julian's for a fleeting second, and that glance hit like a punch to the chest. "You come here a lot?" Julian asked, ignoring the stares of passers-by. Noah nodded, swallowing. "Since Mom got sick. We got no place else." Julian's jaw tightened. "No school." Noah shook his head. "I want to go. Want to build things someday, like bridges or houses." The word build echoed in Julian's mind. He'd once dreamed of being an architect, sketching designs in a notebook before his family's empire forced him into suits and contracts. "What's your mom's name?" he pressed gently. Noah shrugged. "Just Mom. She don't talk about herself much." Julian handed him a bottle of water. "Stay here tomorrow. I'll come back." Noah nodded, clutching the bottle like a treasure. The next day, Julian returned with a bag of hot food, chicken, rice, a juice. Noah was there, perched on a crate, his backpack heavier with scavenge bottles. "For Mom's medicine," he explained when Julian asked. Julian handed him a $20 bill. "No more digging through trash today, okay?" Noah's eyes widened, but he nodded, a shy smile breaking through. Over the next week, Julian became a fixture of the market, bringing food daily, pizza one day, soup the next. Noah's silence softened, his smiles grew, but he shared little. Julian didn't push. Something about the boy felt like a thread to a past he'd buried. One morning, Noah wasn't at his usual spot. Julian's heart raced as he scanned the market. Vendors shook their heads, no sign of the kid. On the third day of Noah's absence, Julian's worry turned to dread. He scoured alleys behind the market, ignoring the stench of rotting produce. A faint cough led him to a pile of crates, where Noah lay curled, pale and shaking. "No!" Julian dropped to his knees. "What happened?" The boy's voice was barely a whisper. "Mom's worse. No food. No money." Julian scooped him up, his suit stained with alley grime, and rushed him to a nearby clinic. "You're okay now," he murmured, handing Noah water and an energy bar. The boy's name slipped out weakly. Noah. Julian froze. That name, it was the one he'd once whispered in a dream, a promise to a love he'd lost. At the clinic, Noah stabilized, but Julian's mind spun. Why did this boy feel like more than a stranger? He took Noah to a diner, watching him devour a plate of eggs and toast, then to a store for clothes, jeans, a warm jacket, sneakers that fit. Noah stared at his reflection, stunned. "This is really for me?" Julian nodded, throat tight. "You deserve it, kid." That night, in his penthouse, Julian couldn't sleep. Noah's face, his name, stirred memories of Clara, the woman who'd once been his world. Clara, their former maid in Savannah, whose quiet strength and warm laughter had captured his heart. They'd met in secret, sharing coffee under moonlight, dreaming of a life free from his mother's control. But Evelyn Reed, the iron-willed matriarch of the Reed dynasty, had caught them. "She's beneath you," she'd spat, firing Clara and threatening to cut Julian off. Young and afraid, he'd let Clara go, her tearful eyes haunting him as she left. He'd buried the guilt in work, building skyscrapers but never a home. Now, watching Noah sleep in a guest room, Julian pulled out an old photo, Clara at a company picnic, her smile bright. His chest ached. Could Noah be his son? The name wasn't random. It was what they planned to call a child. He had to find Clara. The next morning, he took Noah back to the market. "Where's your mom?" he asked gently. Noah pointed to a shack patched with tin and cardboard. "She's sick. Can't get up." Julian followed him inside, heart pounding. Clara lay on a thin mattress, frail and feverish, but unmistakable. "Clara," Julian breathed, the years dissolving. Her eyes opened, recognition mixing with disbelief. "Julian," she whispered. He knelt, guilt flooding him. "I'm here now." Noah clung to his mother, confused but quiet. Julian arranged for a hospital transfer, covering every cost. As Clara rested, he sat by her side, Noah asleep nearby. "Why didn't you tell me?" he asked softly. Clara's voice cracked. "I was pregnant when I left. I didn't want to burden you. You had your life." Julian's world tilted. "Noah's mine." Clara nodded, tears falling. "I named him for us, for the future we dreamed of." The truth settled like a weight and a gift. Julian had a son. He'd failed Clara once, but not again. He moved them to a quiet house he owned in a gated community, far from the city's chaos. Clara's strength returned with proper care, hot meals, clean beds, medicine. Noah thrived, sketching bridges in a new notebook, his dreams no longer bound by survival. Julian watched them, a family forming where he'd once had only regret. But Evelyn loomed. He hadn't told her, knowing her disdain for Clara would resurface. He wanted to protect this fragile new beginning. Weeks passed, and Julian enrolled Noah in a local school, buying uniforms and books. Noah's eyes lit up at the idea of learning, but he worried about his mother. "She's getting better," Julian assured him, though Clara's recovery was slow. One evening, Julian took them to a park, watching Noah run through the grass, laughing for the first time in years. Clara smiled, her hand in Julian's. "I never thought I'd see this," she said. Julian squeezed her hand. "I'm not letting go this time." But the peace was fragile. Evelyn's black sedan pulled up one afternoon, unannounced. She stepped out, her pearl necklace gleaming, her eyes cold. "The maid," she said, spotting Clara. "You dare bring her back?" Julian stood firm. "She's my family, Mom. Noah's your grandson." Evelyn's face hardened, but Noah ran to her, fearless. "Are you my grandma?" he asked, hugging her legs. Her resolve wavered, just a fraction, at his unguarded love. Evelyn's visits grew frequent, though tense. She brought gifts for Noah, books, a toy car, but her words to Clara were sharp, laced with old prejudices. Julian tried to bridge the gap, but Evelyn's pride was a wall. One night, at a Reed gala, Julian planned to introduce Clara as his fiancée. She hesitated, her confidence shaken by years of hardship. "I don't belong there," she said, touching her worn hands. Julian took them gently. "You belong with me." At the event, whispers followed them about Clara's past, her simple dress. Julian took the stage, his voice steady. "This is Clara, my future, my family. Judge her, and you judge me." The room fell silent, then erupted in applause. Clara stood taller, her hand in his, as Noah beamed from the crowd. Months later, Clara's health stabilized, and Noah excelled in school, his sketches of bridges earning praise from teachers. Evelyn's resistance softened, worn down by Noah's hugs and Clara's quiet strength. One evening, she sat with Clara on the porch. "I was wrong about you," she admitted, voice low. "You gave my son a heart I never could." Clara nodded, no triumph in her eyes, only peace. "I just want Noah to be happy," she said. Evelyn reached for her hand, a rare gesture. "He is. Because of you." Life settled into a rhythm. Julian, Clara, and Noah built new traditions: Saturday hikes, Sunday dinners, bedtime stories where Noah read to his parents. But a shadow lingered. Julian's company faced a crisis. A major project collapsed, threatening his legacy. He withdrew, haunted by failure, skipping meals and meetings. Clara and Noah stayed steady, keeping the home alive. One night, Clara found an old sketchbook of Julian's, his architectural dreams from youth. She placed it on his desk with a note. "You're more than your company. You're our home." Julian stared at the sketches, tears falling. Noah's voice broke through. "Dad, you taught me to build. Build us now." Julian stood, a spark reigniting. He wasn't done fighting. Noah, inspired by his own past, had an idea. "The market has so much waste," he told Julian. "What if we turn it into something, like art or furniture?" Julian listened, amazed, as Noah sketched a plan for a community project, upcycling trash into products, giving jobs to kids like him. They pitched it to the company board. Noah standing tall, despite his age. "I learned value on the streets," he said. "Let's give others that chance." The board approved a pilot, and within months, Hope's cycle transformed lives, rebuilding the company's reputation and Julian's purpose. At a company event, Julian introduced Noah to the crowd. "This is my son, the heart of our future." Applause roared. Clara stood at his side, radiant despite her scars. Evelyn, in the back, wiped a tear, her pride no longer for the empire but for the family she'd nearly lost. That night, they gathered in their garden. Julian, Clara, Noah, and a new baby girl, Lily, asleep in Clara's arms. Noah raced around, planning a treehouse for Lily's adventures. Laughter filled the air, a family whole at last. Julian looked at Clara, her strength brighter than any skyscraper he'd built. "We made it," he whispered. She smiled. "We always will." What a journey! Noah, Clara, and Julian show us that love can rebuild what time and fear tear apart. Subscribe now for more stories that light up your heart and inspire your soul. Don't miss the next tale. Hit that button and join the adventure.